I'm going to admit something that probably should not be in a channel about AI tools and productivity, right? There are some evenings where I sit down at this desk for an hour or two. I'm genuinely trying to work on my YouTube channel, and at the end of those evenings, I haven't filmed a single thing. I've reviewed my content system. I've spent an hour going back and forth on thumbnails for the next YouTube video, and all of it feels productive, but none of it ships anything. And after 9 years of making YouTube videos, I now know the name of this. It's called the research and optimize loop, and it's the one ADHD trap that Claude genuinely completely cannot fix.
No! God, please, no! No!
So this is basically what happens when preparation and system building become the work instead of the thing that makes the work easier. And let me just explain what I mean by that. You need to sit down at your desk and film your next few YouTube videos, right? It feels uncomfortable, even if you've been doing it for years. It's part of the process. For YouTube creators, hitting record is uncomfortable, not because you don't know how to do it, but because you're making something real. You're putting yourself out there, and real things can fail. And so without consciously deciding to avoid it, your brain looks for something nearby that feels like progress, but doesn't carry that same risk as actually filming and putting out a YouTube video. That you can review your YouTube titles, you can research better thumbnail ideas. All of it is genuinely useful, but none of it requires you to sit down and press record and film a video. And here's the problem with this. With procrastination, scrolling, watching TV, you eventually feel guilt, right? Your brain knows that you're avoiding the thing that you should be doing.
Ay, ay, ay.
But with productive procrastination, there's no guilt signal. You have evidence that you were working on something, whether that's the ideas, titles, thumbnails, but you didn't do the thing you needed to do and film the videos, right? So I've talked about this example in a few of my other videos, but basically a few weeks ago, Charlie finally went down for his nap. I had an hour to myself, which is incredibly rare. If you're a parent, you'll understand. All I needed to do was film my next few YouTube videos, right? I had an hour to do that. So I sat down, and I'd been watching a lot of videos on Claude Cowork at the time. And I sat down right here and I convinced myself that I needed to rebuild my entire content system that I've created in Claude, and I need to upgrade it to Claude Cowork. I genuinely sat here and convinced myself to do that.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
But before I spent the hour doing that, I tried to take a step back and I just asked Claude. I was like, look, I feel like I need to upgrade to Cowork. Everyone's using Cowork right now. Can you review my current content system and give me an honest answer? Do I really need to? And it analyzed everything and it told me very clearly that I do not need to do that. And I just need to sit down, focus, and film my next few videos, which I did. So, you know, at least I got there in the end. But that research and optimization loop is very dangerous when you start falling into it. And here's why Claude can actually make this worse sometimes, right? Before I had this proper AI setup that I have right now, the loop looked like this: watching YouTube videos about productivity, downloading apps, reorganizing things in Notion, and even your own brain eventually clocks that as avoidance, right? You can only rearrange a to-do list so many times before part of you starts saying, have you actually done anything on the to-do list today? With Claude, the loop looks a little bit different, right? You start building better skills. You run another round of outlier research. You ask Claude how to improve the way you write your project instructions. Basically, almost everything I use Claude for right now is to help me optimize things in a certain area of my life, whether that's for this YouTube channel, whether it's for money related stuff, health and fitness. So I can easily sit down here and spend an hour using Claude to help me analyze everything and optimize something, which is great if I'm doing it for the YouTube channel, but it can't help me do the one thing that is probably the most important for this YouTube channel, making the videos. And every time I sit down to optimize something, my brain says, oh wow, Ryan, you've done a lot of work today. You've optimized everything. You've got your whole system ready. Don't worry about the videos. You can film those like next week. You'll be fine. And before you know it, I'm sitting here right now and I currently have no more YouTube videos scheduled in advance. I'm at my limit now. And that's been slowly happening over the past few weeks, which is why I now have to sit down and film 4 YouTube videos to try and stay on schedule, to not break that cycle where I've been uploading one long form YouTube video every week since November last year, I think. But that's the problem, right? I spend too much time optimizing. My brain registers that as the work being done, when really the work that needs to be done is sitting down and filming these YouTube videos. So now that you understand what the loop is, how do you break that loop? There are two things that actually break the cycle, and I found that these have worked for me at least. The first one is a deadline, not a target that you set for yourself, because your ADHD brain is very good at negotiating with the future version of you and basically just keeps extending those deadlines.
Many months later,
you need an actual deadline where you have a date where something is due to someone else. And the second one is someone who will ask you what you actually done this week.
Tell me!
Kind of like an accountability partner, I guess. And here's why this works so well, right? Deadlines work because ADHD brains do their best work when external urgency makes the uncomfortable task feel more urgent than the comfortable ones. And accountability works because ADHD brains are wired to respond to external structures. And most importantly, neither of these things are something that you can automate, because if you've got good systems, you know what to film, you have the AI tools to support you, and you're still spending your time in the research and optimization loop, then the gap between you and consistency isn't a better system. It's someone who will notice if you didn't make the videos this week. And if you want to see the content creation system that I've built with Claude, then check out this video next.